Hello again, everybody. So we got ourselves a little bit of an evening session here. Just kind of wrapping it up now. So figured I'd jump in here and just do a quick recording. Today was a very long day. I ended up selling some copies of my books down at local Old Home Day today. It was a great time, great experience. First time they actually promoted an actual author section. Normally, when you go to Old Home Days and stuff, you're pretty much having a table and like a little canopy, whatever, set up next to somebody, selling homemade pottery or Mary Kay or something, But this time it was pretty cool because it was actually a bunch of authors, just basically like probably a dozen of us, all kind of in our own little wing. So people knew when they were going over there, they were looking at books. Kind of helped filter out some of the traffic that was not going to be interested, and kind of left it open for people that might be interested in buying some copies. But of course, when it comes to these sort of things, you're never going to make, I find you don't make that many sales with these sort of things. Bookstores are a lot better. Places where you can do a presentation, you can talk for a bit and promote your work. Those are places where you'll sell a nice number of copies maybe. I sold half a dozen. So, actually, yeah, I was going to say, I think it was actually 5, but I ended up trading a couple away as well, some authors for their copies of their books, which was kind of cool. But yeah, so like I said, these things typically will not sell a ton of books at them. A lot more of them are about kind of networking. Especially like today, it's about finding like local authors, networking, communicating, just kind of getting yourself out there as a presence and really enjoying it. Like it's a long day where if you're not enjoying this sort of stuff, if you don't like being out there selling stuff for hours and hours, it's miserable and you'll never make enough money to justify being out there. I enjoy a nice day outside, and I don't mind being around other people for several hours. It was a fun little chance to interact. But that's my perspective on it. And I think the lesson here, the thing to take away basically is that idea, is that if you're going to be an author, you kind of have to do the whole thing. There's a lot of elements of the process of marketing and promotion that I don't enjoy. I've talked before about how much I love writing the books. I love getting them done, finished. I hate marketing. I hate promotion. This I enjoy. This is a fine medium, but I also know it's like the least engaging medium here. Me having this little, I don't know, diary, journal, whatever you want to call it, about my work. Vlogging what you're working on for a project is probably the least engaging thing there is. But I happen to enjoy it, and it's the most comfortable I am in my medium. So with it, you have to be willing to do it all. Like, you have to be willing to do a lot of it, at least. And that includes going to the Old Home Days where maybe you're not going to sell a bunch, because maybe you make that one connection with that one person who 6 months from now they have an event, and you go to it, and you go to their talk or their event at this bookstore, and there you meet another author, and this author, you and this person get it, kind of hit it off, and that person happens to know about this nice critique group maybe, and maybe you join that critique group, and you're in there for a little bit, and one of the guys in the critique group maybe has an agent, and you're kind of plugging along, and maybe they take a liking to your work, and perhaps you got an in. Right? Maybe that's how you get your agent, or get maybe a chance to submit some work to them directly rather than a slush pile. It's a lot. The point I'm making is that there's a lot of steps in this process, that making connections is huge, and you don't know where it ends up. You do not know where your networking and where your connections are going to eventually take you. The medicine ball of kindness does not always bounce back. When you think about that, I mean, again, I'm a personal trainer, so I'm always going with the workout metaphors here. But when you think about throwing that medicine ball against the wall and having it bounce back to you, in life it doesn't do that. The medicine ball of kindness, of networking, of just being a decent person, it's not always going to bounce back to you. Sometimes you do things for people and man, it doesn't pan out, right? There are books today I traded with some other authors who may never leave a review. They may never even reach out to me again. They might just, whatever, this book kind of sucked, and never reach out again, never even say a thank you, right? I hope not, but it's totally possible, right? Sometimes that medicine ball doesn't come back. But other times it does come back, and it comes back at weird angles and at weird times. It doesn't come right back to you. Like I said, with the example of the sort of 6 degrees of separation there, where you meet someone who has a connection, who has a connection, who has a connection, who has a connection, right? Who knows? But the point is to be willing to throw that medicine ball out there. That's the point. And just hope that maybe something pans out in the future, But okay, so enough rambling for tonight. I'm going to wrap it up here. And yeah, I will see you all tomorrow. Have yourself a great night. And yeah, on to our next session.